What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a ton of information to go over. We had a pretty crazy day in the market. We had Tesla stock up around 13%. We had DraftKings break all-time highs, up around 17% on news with a new deal with ESPN. The market overall finished up, so we have a lot of great things to cover in today's episode, a lot of great plays too. So make sure you stick around to the end of the episode to hear all the great plays and to have all your guys' questions answered from the previous video. So if you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. But let's get right into it. So Tom, what major news happened in the stock market today?
The big news this morning was we saw DraftKings. We were talking about this yesterday about how they could possibly rise on so many sports games really going on at one time. But they actually ended up making a deal with ESPN, and we were pretty shocked by this morning. And obviously, DraftKings flew up over 17%, like you just said. And our stat modeling bot, Scanus, was calling this out all morning. Once the stock started flying, that's when Scanus started calling it out. But a lot of traders took this play this morning in our Discord and ended up coming out pretty profitable. And, you can see even at the end of the day, they still held their level, which is nice to see with a stock like DraftKings. And really, sports betting has been getting really large overall within the whole entire United States, kind of like we talked about yesterday. And this stock was awesome. It was great to see them break this very nice, channel that they were in between about $45 and $28. It's a pretty wide channel that they were kind of stuck in, but they ended up breaking it to the upside on this news with ESPN. And obviously ESPN is one of the biggest sports venues in the entertainment industry. So, this is a pretty big deal for both companies, especially DraftKings, who obviously is the smaller company of the two.
For sure. So, yeah, overall good stuff. DKNG exploded in the middle of the day, like you were talking about. Like if you go on like an intraday chart time, you can see like how they were kind of flat and actually falling a little bit at market open. But right when the news released about their deal with ESPN, they just shot up. So overall, that's really great for DraftKings. And I just like DraftKings even more now for a long-term investment.
Yeah, for sure. It's just one of those stocks that it's a growth stock. So obviously it's going to be pretty volatile as we've seen it do since it IPO'd. But, with these growth stocks, this is what they kind of look like whenever they're starting to rise. And, it's just one of those stocks that within 3 to 5 years, I would expect them to be pretty high.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So what other major news happened in the market today?
There was that crazy TikTok news today where Oracle actually won the contract or the partnership with TikTok or ByteDance, who are the owners of TikTok. The proposed partnership, which was announced Monday, will see Oracle serve as ByteDance's trusted technology provider. And this is really what's going to avert a shutdown of TikTok's U.S. operations. The drama with Donald Trump, who called for ByteDance to shutter its U.S. business over national security concerns related to China's suspected ability to access Americans' user data on TikTok is what really caused Trump to go ahead and, obviously try to shut TikTok down because of the, security concerns. But really, Yahoo reported this today, and it was really nice to see Oracle partnering with them. ORCL was doing very good on the chart, especially this morning, but then they actually tanked off once the market actually opened. So, they gapped up on this news and then ended up falling down. And they're not actually purchasing TikTok, keep in mind. They're going to be a partnership, and, they're just going to be the trusted technology provider for the United States with TikTok. And this is also going to be good for Oracle because Oracle can use ByteDance technology and help get into the cloud computing service, and they're going to be able to compete with stocks like Amazon and stocks like Microsoft, which are doing very well, obviously. And Oracle is all the way down at $66 a share, and Microsoft and Amazon have done so well with their cloud computing capabilities over the past few years. And obviously, if Oracle can get to that type of level, this would be a great growth stock as well.
Oracle's doing pretty good. Like if you look at like a long-term chart, they're doing really good actually. But overall, on the short term, because I'm sure a lot of people are more concerned about how to trade Oracle than invest in it for the long term. But I don't love the setup on Oracle. Like yes, like it gapped up this morning, and technically it broke all-time highs in pre-market. but I don't love this setup. Like I think it's a good long-term stock, but for the short term, it's just not a great setup in my eyes because, one, they couldn't hold their all-time highs, but also two, is they just had like a really, crappy day from their opening price. Like overall, they're up about 4%, but I know this deal is going to be great for them for the long term, but what are your thoughts on Oracle for the short term for like a trade?
Yeah, I'm honestly not loving this, to the upside too much either. I know a lot of guys are looking for this to continue up, but really, I don't really like it one way or the other too much. It looks like, they were pretty flat once open actually happened. And that's just something where whenever you have a deal like this with ByteDance and TikTok, you would have kind of expected them to fly up a little bit more than they did. They really only rose a few points up from where they closed on Friday. So it's not that big of a play. And in the short term, I would almost just be neutral on this. I probably wouldn't even trade it. It's probably one of those stocks where the options probably got a little pricey, especially. Well, the thing that does help is that earnings just happened. So, maybe we had an implied volatility crash like we saw, but the implied volatility went all the way back up on this news. So really, I don't think it's a very smart play right now, especially considering the price of the options.
True. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't really think it's going to necessarily fall. I just don't see a ton of upside potential. So,
Yeah, I think if anything, it'd be good for some long-term plays maybe, or maybe, selling puts or something like that.
yeah. Yeah. So, like, I'm just pretty neutral on Oracle. If anything, like Tom said, like maybe like sell a put. So, for example, like if you sell like the 58 strike put that expires on October 16th, or no, like if you sell like the 55 strike put for October 16th, you can pick up about $80. If Oracle is below $55, you just have to buy 100 shares of Oracle for $55 each, and you can just sit on that for the long term. If Oracle is above 55, then you just keep your $80 and run. So there's a couple different ways to play it, but I like the idea of just selling puts. So what other major news happened?
Tesla had a crazy run up this morning, and a lot of people have been asking us questions lately about Tesla and whether or not they should buy calls heading into battery day, and whether or not we should buy calls, buy shares, sell our calls. We've been getting tons of questions about Tesla lately, and the battery day is coming up, and Elon Musk tweeted this morning that exciting things are to come with his batteries, and that's really what drove this stock up this morning. Barron's.com reported that this is why Tesla rose today. So whether this is why or not, but it's nice to see Elon Musk pretty excited about these batteries coming up. This is going to be happening on September 22nd, and that's going to be next week, I believe. So Tesla, it looks like they're coming back up towards highs possibly, and obviously it's going to be very nice for them if they have good news on their batteries. I've been very skeptical of Tesla lately and a lot of these other tech stocks that have been flying up. But whenever you have revolutionary ideas and revolutionary news about batteries, I think you could definitely go up. But I wouldn't necessarily say that Tesla is going to break its high. But I would think that Tesla could possibly retest highs heading into next week.
I don't know about that. That's a pretty that's a pretty big increase. I mean, I definitely would not doubt Tesla, but I don't know. It's a pretty big increase,
Yeah, it's weird whenever you see Tesla go up 12% off of Elon Musk just tweeting something as simple as, exciting things are coming. So, unless the thing is that it could be priced in before we get there. So, if we see Tesla come up another 5% tomorrow, then maybe Tesla's already priced in and we won't actually get that type of movement.
See, it's just hard with Tesla because when you just like look at the news or you look at the charts, like sometimes Tesla just does whatever it wants. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, for sure.
Tesla just literally just explodes, like we saw back in the beginning of August, and this is just on a split adjusted price. But we could see it went from $300 all the way to $500 in less than a month. So you know what I mean? Like Tesla is just kind of it does whatever it wants, but when it runs, it really runs. So we'll definitely have to see what happens with it. So now for our Discord member of the day. And today's member of the day is Arasena X. So huge shout out to you for posting a great message in the Discord channel today. He's making a lot of progress with his own trading career, and he had some nice things to say in the Discord today. So huge shout out to you, and thank you for being a great member of the Discord. So now for today's momentum plays. So the first one is DraftKings, up about 17%, broke all-time highs. Tom, what levels should we be watching?
Yeah, just make DraftKings break above 49.40 in the morning. I think that'd be a pretty good level to watch. And if it's above that in pre-market, make it break $50 a share. I think that could be a pretty hard price for it to break.
All right, so if we see DraftKings above the levels Tom listed, we will consider buying calls on the stock. With the next play, we have PENN.
Penn National Gaming. Yeah, it looks like they're actually breaking that. Looks like they had like a triple top here at around 66. So just watch for them to break above, I would say 66.20 tomorrow morning.
All right, and then with the last play, we have Tesla.
Tesla, make them break above 425.
All right, looks good. So we are eyeing all of these plays to the upside only if they break above the levels Tom listed. So now with the unusual options activity for today, and we are looking at the Apple 120 strike call options that expire this Friday, September 18th, and there is about $12.5 million put into this play today. So, Apple, the 120 strikes, I can see them longing it. I wouldn't like bet against it, but I feel like Apple is at a very crucial point, as is the rest of the market, because we look at Apple, we look at the S&P 500, and it's kind of just lingering around its recent support levels, right? And this isn't the most bullish sign ever, but it's definitely not too bearish either. It's kind of just like pretty neutral, but I can see Apple popping, but I just don't love the setup. I like it, I don't love the setup. What do you think?
The big news with Apple is going to be the event that they have coming up on September 15th, which is going to be tomorrow. And that's really going to be the big thing with Apple, is that they're going to be announcing a lot of their specs on the iPhone 12 and the new Apple Watch. So I think that's going to be what a lot of people are going after tomorrow.
Yeah, that can also be the reasoning behind the unusual options activity too. So, just keep an eye on Apple. They had some interesting unusual options activity today, and they're at a pretty decent price level right now, sitting around $115. So definitely have your eyes on Apple for tomorrow. So now with our comments from the previous episode, and with the first comment, we have Kevin saying, completely my fault for not catching this video within the hour of post. Your predictions are spot on. Thanks for the info. So thank you, Kevin, for that great comment. We really appreciate it. Any comments down below really help grow the channel. So thank you so much for that comment. We have Auntie saying, hold or release NKLA. So what do you think about this one?
In the short term, they honestly look pretty good. I know that they had that deal with GM last week, and they didn't actually end up going off of it too much. But maybe they were just falling down to a support before they rise. In the past 1, 2, 3, 4 trading days, they've fallen about 50%. So that's pretty big for a company like Nikola, especially after they announced that they were going to be with GM. It really made them fall, which was kind of weird to see. So really, I think that they have a lot of room to go up. In the short term, they look pretty bullish as well. It seems like they went up all day today, but with the way that they fell on that news, I would be kind of skeptical of them in the short term anyways.
Well, look at it on a daily chart. You see the support right around $30. It looks like we're sitting at like a double bottom, but also the $30 level used to be resistance, and now it's support. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. The daily looks very well on it. I think if it can hold that level, it would be very good. And really, I think Nikola is great for shares right now. Like if you wanted to pick up shares on Nikola for if you wanted to hold them for a couple of years, I think this is a great price point on a stock like this. Look at the volume over the past few days. On this GM deal, you can just see more volume has came into Nikola Motors over the past 6 trading days than it ever has. So that's pretty nice to see with the stock too.
Yeah, I know there's some shady things going on behind the scenes with NKLA. I probably wouldn't invest in it for the long term, but obviously if someone has done their research and likes the company for the long term, then it can be a good price to enter. So, I mean, overall, I mean, you could always, NKLA has some pretty high implied volatility, kind of like how Tesla has. So you can definitely get away with just selling puts because options are pretty expensive on NKLA. So like if you go to like even if the October expiration, you can sell a 15 strike put option for $100. So this can actually be a huge win-win. So let's say, so like right now, NTLA is sitting around $36. You can go to the October 16th expiration, right? Then if you go to the 15 strike put, you can sell that for $100. So if you sell that, if NTLA is below $15 by the expiration date, then you have to buy 100 shares of NTLA at $15 each. So
that's actually a really good trade. I might even take that one.
So here's the thing. You could buy 100 shares of NTLA at $15 each, but if NTLA is above $15, then you just keep your $100 and run. So like, actually, I mean, now that I look into this, I mean, NTLA looks pretty decent if you just sell puts on it because, the worst case scenario, and guys, only do this if you like NTLA for the long term because this will be a win-win only if you like it for the long term because if you don't like it, you don't want to be caught holding shares with it. So if you like NTLA for the long term, there's really, it would be hard to lose on it because the worst case scenario is you get assigned, like let's say like NTLA goes down to $10, but you're in at 15. But if you know how cash secured puts work, this can be a pretty good trade. But make sure you do your own research first before getting into play. So yeah, I mean, cash secured puts are a pretty good strategy because if you sell that 15 strike put, like the worst case scenario is that you're going to get in NTLA at $15 each. The best case scenario is that you keep your $100 and run.
And it makes sense that the volatility's up so high. Within the past 5 minutes we've been talking, it dropped from 36 a share all the way down to 33, 36 a share, which is kind of crazy while we were just talking.
Yeah, I mean, because the options are so expensive, that's who it really benefits, the people who actually sell the options for premium. So definitely have your eye on NTLA. With that being said, Tom, do you have any last-minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I really kind of wanted to go over Qualcomm from yesterday. I called this out as a put, and it still is kind of bouncing off my support. So as long as we don't break that support to the upside, I'm still going to be a little bearish on Qualcomm. I just kind of wanted to give a little update on that and also on AMD. AMD still had a green day today. It looks like they might actually end up coming back, but they're still below that support. And I think they still have a long ways to go. But a lot of guys they were pretty skeptical that I thought AMD, would end up going down. They were like, AMD is only up for the future. But, while I do think that AMD is going to go up for the future, obviously in the short term, these stocks are pretty volatile. You can see AMD in the past has had swings where, they end up falling down about 40 to 50%, and then they swing right back up within the next couple of years. So really that's what I'm looking at for AMD is for them just to fall down just a little bit, just like a normal market would do, and just pull back a little bit and then rise. I'm not saying AMD is going to tank and go bankrupt or anything like that. I think that they're still a great stock to hold for the long term, and I think that even at the price they're at, it's good to pick up shares at this price too.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, and thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. Tom and I really appreciate all the support you guys give to the channel through the form of hitting that like button, commenting down below, and subscribing. The comments really help grow the channel, so thank you guys so much for the comments, the likes, and the new subscribers. We really appreciate it. If you guys want to try the new options day trading bot that picked up DKNG today, you can click the Stocked Up options alerts link in the description down below. But as always, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.